Oh, hi. I didn't know it was on. Um, it's Molly again. Today we're going to talk about flashcards. A lot of people are scared of flashcards, and a lot of people discourage you from using flashcards, but if you use them correctly, they're very useful. And I will give you some hints that I use all the time. So I have two different types of flashcards here. There's dozens. Actually, I have four, but these are the small ones first. This is a baby Einstein's. And this is a little more generic one. I believe I got this one maybe Target. I'm not quite sure. And this one was given to me by a friend. I think she got it at Kmart or Walmart or that sort of thing. I have a pet peeve on flashcards. My pet peeve is that I do not like when they are drawings or pretend items, such as this clock. I like when they have pictures. That's why I brought the second one out for you. This one has pictures of the real object. So I think it's a little weird to have pictures of things that, that aren't real, because kids wear a dress, not a picture of a dress. And I do not like when they do purple elephants and things like that in the colors. I think that's ridiculous, and you're teaching them colors. You don't want them to see things that are not really colors. So, if that makes any sense, you can do the simple way, which obviously, what is this? It's a clock, and then have them repeat that it's a clock. However, I think it's a little more fun if you do a little bit of a game with them. Now, I don't use the object ones with the game. You could if you wanted to, but I use the shapes and the colors, which most of them will have. You want to make sure on the back that they have them. So, and I would start with the simple, primary colors if you can, and then the simple shapes. Like, here's an octagon. Now, I would not really suggest to start with an octagon because that's a little tricky, even for adults. So let's start with the basic, primary colors, basic shapes. So I have all the kids sit in front of me in a circle time, which I think is really, if you want to give your kid a head start in school, have them do a little circle time with you. It can be quite fun, and they get your undivided attention, and you just have them sit and focus on one thing at a time. So in this one, we would focus on, obviously, colors and shapes. This is a key thing that your kids need to know when they go into kindergarten, as well as something that the preschool, if you enroll them in preschool, will teach them. But if they have a head start, since your classroom usually has 12 to 24 kids, you're going to be good. So I would say, what color is this? And they would say, red. And I would say, am I wearing red? And they would say, no, Miss Molly, you're not wearing red, but maybe Steve is wearing red, or their shoes are red, and we'll talk about it. If there is no one wearing red, then you can speak about what in the room is red. In this case, I see, oh, my husband didn't take the Santa Claus down, and he's red. So that is a really fun game to do. They enjoy it a lot. It's like kind of I Spy with my little eye sort of thing. Same with the shapes. Talk about it's a rectangle. Have them repeat it. Then we try to figure out what in the room is a rectangle. In this case, I see, look at that. It's my box. It's a rectangle. So very easy, very fun. If they're losing interest or they just don't seem to be into it that day, I just wouldn't even go for the flashcards that day. So that is really fun. And the other thing to see is some flashcards, like the Baby Einstein ones, will give you little activities and language keys. You can see that on the back. So if you are lost and didn't know where to go with this, other than this is a clock, You can talk about the noises the clock makes. It says what time is it, which small children will not be able to do that. Then talk about the numbers. Point to, let's see what it says. Point to the numbers and count with your baby. And oh, I just noticed this. They have it in, which is a good thing. They have it in English, Spanish, French, German, Hebrew, and Japanese and Russian, which is really cool because a lot of people, if they are second language learners, meaning their first language is not English, or they speak a second language, will want to bring in that second language with their child. So that's really important. Or maybe you even feel like you want your child to learn some Spanish or French or whatever it is academically. These seem to be awesome cards for that. Very nice. And other than the corny pictures, it's pretty good. And sometimes they will come with little activities in them, which is nice. So now I'm going to show you two other flashcards that you may not even think about getting, which are kind of cool. Let's see here, hold on. Things about. These ones I particularly like. I got it at Lakeshore. It was $9.95. You can see. So, and the super cool thing is if you want to incorporate about ethnicities, different, places in the world, how they talk, these are the cards for you because on there they have person from the place, this is China, and how to say hello, ni hao, and how it is written in Chinese over here, which is so cool. And you can talk about different skin colors and different ways of writing, and it's a good introductory into, ethnicities and cultures and the whole thing. Here's another one. This is France. Salut. And I like that they have little kids, or kids that would be similar in age, so they can relate to them. So I think those are pretty cool. And let's see here. They have a little activity guide in here as well for us that need some help. And it talks about using them and, some activities, the greetings, ask a volunteer from that country to talk to your child, that sort of thing. So that's pretty fun. My other thing that is one of my favorites, it's perfect for a child who is just learning to talk and you're like, I don't think you want to do the cards with them. Well, these are made for children that are learning to speak and you want to talk to them about jobs. I've used this with 1.5-year-olds. So here you have a career. This is a delivery person. And on the back, it has things to talk about. And it has it in Spanish as well. And the thing that I love about this is if you have a child who's learning to talk, they can choose what they would like to discuss about. Because the one little boy, he loved these, Parker. He sometimes wanted to talk about the fact that he was wearing a hat. Now, I would not talk about the fact that he's wearing a hat, but that interests him. And we talked about the hat and the color and all that sort of thing. And then you can talk about the job and that he has packages. I mean, most kids know a delivery man because they've had Amazon or whatever delivered to their house before, so they can relate to these. But they have all sorts of jobs. Let's see, I'll show you a couple more because they're kind of cool. Hold on 1 minute. They're very eclectic on the careers. Here is a electrician. Everybody's favorite, the fireman. Now this, of course, we talked about the hat and the uniform. And here's another, let's see, let me show you kind of an interesting one. Here's a hairstylist. So you get the idea. Now you don't have to spend a lot of money on cards. You can make your own, but these are kind of nice because they have the activities built in, and if you're not knowing what the activities are, it's a good way of going. These, I believe, were under $10, the Baby Einsteins. The other ones that I just showed you, these guys, picture words, they were under $10. The Hello in Different Languages was $10. And then, of course, the big cards are kind of a bummer because they are $20. They could be a little more now. But I got those at Lakeshore. But they are super cool, and the little boy that used to love doing that, his language skills are like unbelievable. And I really believe that it's because he was so curious and we had so many discussions about those pictures. So I hope that was helpful. I just want to let you know that you should not do flashcards with children that cannot speak at all. That is not age appropriate, which means it's not good for that age level. You can start as soon as they're showing interest in, speaking, and they have a couple words under their belt. Otherwise, it'll just be you talking to yourself. You shouldn't be a forceful activity. If they don't enjoy it, and some kids don't push it. You can find another way to introduce these concepts with them. A lot of kids find them fun. I do it with circle time with the other kids all the time, but you have to make sure that it's not a forced activity. Otherwise, they will not enjoy school because they will think that they have to sit there and listen and not participate at all. It all needs to be participatory, and you will find that is something that runs through all of my things is if they participate, they learn, and if they don't, then it's just you talking blah, 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 which is boring. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just drop me a line. All right, have a good evening.